A full-blown civil war breaking out among Democrats now that Joe Biden's Build Back Better is a dud, at least for this year. Socialists Bernie Sanders blasting moderate Democrats Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema for not doing exactly as progressive want.
And you got two people who say, you know what? Hey, if you don't do it my way, I don't care what the president wants. I don't care what 48 of my colleagues want. It's my way or the highway. And that I regard as arrogance. You can disagree. Look, I have disagreements, as you well know. All right, you fight for your ideas, but you don't say my way or the highway.
Democrats also bickering over the direction that the party needs to take to avoid a wipeout in the midterms. But despite the dysfunction, Democrats are still trying to claim Joe's doing a great job.
This is the first year of the Biden administration, and we have passed huge pieces of their legislative agenda. Frankly, they dwarf the first-year accomplishments of many other administrations. It's been a year of real substantive progress.
Inflation running at a 40-year high. Well done.
They're getting crushed by inflation. Their voters are getting crushed by inflation, but all they care about is January 6th. Until they wake up to how dangerous inflation is, they're just totally hopeless. It's funny to hear Bernie complain about people being a problem in the Senate. Ask Obama what he thought about Bernie when Obama was president. He hated Bernie. He was a pain in the butt. And so you have Manchin, who's at, 60% approval right now in West Virginia, a state Trump won by 40 points. He's not going to go and be like the last vote to kill coal, to destroy the dollar, to destroy voter ID. He's not going to do that. He's dug in, and Sinema's in the 40s. She's loved by independents and Republicans there. That's a state that puts out really liberal Republicans. Flake, McCain, she's like a conservative Democrat. So she's right in that sweet spot there in that state, so she's fine. Democrats complaining about mavericks? Welcome to the Republican Party. You get like 10 senators that are always joining the Democrats on infrastructure, debt, health care. I mean, welcome to my world. Yeah, I mean, everything. So enough. They're going into a midterm year with only two things. They got COVID relief. People don't feel very relieved about that. And an infrastructure bill that you're not going to see a project finish for at least a decade. So they got nothing.
They have a 50-50 Senate. Mazie Hirono, Richard, yesterday, the senator said a 50-50 Senate sucks. Yeah. Well, you know what sucks more for the Democrats? If it's 51-49 when Joe Manchin turns Republican during an election year.
Well, I don't think Joe Manchin's going to turn Republican, but I actually agree with Jesse on this particular point. I've done some reporting around how people in the Democratic base feel about the party, specifically African-American voters. And African-American voters are very dissatisfied with where the party is. One, they don't feel like the party's talking to them or providing the adequate messaging. But two, and more importantly, I don't think they believe that their party's listening to them. Right? I think the party's listening to a lot of other people, but they're not listening to African Americans. I thought you saw that this week when the president came out and sort of announced that student loan repayments going to start again. That was to the chagrin of a lot of African Americans when the president made a commitment during the election that he was going to forgive $10,000 worth of student loan debt. And now he's saying, well, no, you have to repay. And I think there's a lot of folks out here, not only African Americans, but other voters, millennial voters as well, saying, come on, Joe, we voted for you, and now you have to at least give us something so that we could turn back out for you in the midterms. If the Democratic Party does not begin to have a conversation with its base soon, the midterms can be worse than it already seems it's going to be.
Greg?
Yeah, I don't think it was about the student loans. It's about the crime.
Yep.
Blacks and Hispanics are pissed off because they're being ignored, because they're living in the neighborhoods that are deeply affected by this crime wave. Just what you mentioned, the Mavericks, let's not forget that all these people complaining really love John McCain when he torpedoed when he did this with his hand.
Yep.
Remember how that was everywhere? Well, now that's happening. The big failure here is Joe was supposed to supply some kind of genial calm. He was supposed to be some comfy old sweater after the biker jacket that was Trump, but now he's like a corset made of wasps. It's like it's safe to say he might have the worst first year of any president. He basically wandered through 2021 like he does in the White House garden when he's trying to look for an entrance. He's left a trail of chaos, masked in denial, blissfully unaware that the country is suffering. And I go back to that, just the most important thing in my head is the crime, because it's visual. It's immediate. Everybody knows somebody that's been a victim. Many of us have been victims. So I think that right now, if they got to do something big, or they're going to get destroyed for a long time.
And you got Bernie from the nutland of Ben and Jerry's talking about arrogance. Well, I don't know, since when is voting your conscience and for your constituency arrogant?
It's arrogant. The president, I don't know who these people are, but this is disgusting. Two people holding the country hostage. This is not what America wants. America wants socialism.
He thinks that, and all, like, socialism is based on arrogance. It is based on the idea that, you know, we, the few technocrats, will decide what to do for you for the rest of your life. We will create an entire nation of victims so we can solve all of your problems. But it's not problem solving, it is control. It is taking your money through high taxes and then creating systems and all sorts of entitlements that make you beholden to the government in every aspect of your life, regardless of what normal, rational people think. That is the arrogance of socialism. Shouting your point constantly to make it seem like your loudness equals a large base. It does not. And that's why the president and the vice president and Congress have horrible ratings right now, because people have woken up to that. They don't want their money stolen from them, so the government can tell them what to do in every single area of their life. It is utter arrogance. And of course, he knows something about that because he's been steeped in the socialism his entire life. Bernie went on his honeymoon to the Soviet Union.
He's not even a good socialist. He's got like kind of a craptastic lake house.
Yes,
my only point here is this, and I hear your argument, and I agree that the president does have a low approval rating, but I think if you look at the things that are in Build Back Better, whether it be helping families deal with child care, whether it be making sure that people who are on Medicaid or Medicare get
talking about the child care tax credit?
No, wait a minute, hold on. Whether it be getting hearing aids
help 1 year and then take it
or
away.
glasses for
That is
senior
so
citizens,
wonderful.
these
How
are all
kind of you.
popular things, right? These are all popular measures.
Well, maybe we could afford to give glasses to senior citizens if we weren't raping the economy with these arbitrary climate mandates.
There aren't any arbitrary climate mandates.
Put
To Greg's
corset
point,
made of wasps
yes.
and lace it up tight, Richard.
To Greg's point, public safety, it is public safety. And where have they failed? Border. Afghanistan couldn't keep our soldiers safe, crime, and then they look at the American people and lie about it. What you're seeing, it's not happening. You know, those border agents whipping immigrants, lie after lie after lie, and it pisses people off. And
People were pissed because they saw that happening to Haitian migrants.
No, they were pissed because it did not happen. No, it didn't. It never happened. Where's the investigation? They tabled it because it didn't happen.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.